Okay, we are live. Slash Bros on Sopranos.
What is going on, everybody? We are back with episode 4, Meadowlands.
Yeah.
The original plan was to do 2 episodes today, but we had a change of plans due to some scheduling issues, and we'll let you know going forward what we're going to do later on. But today we're just doing the 1 episode.
Good. We give everybody a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll give everybody a couple minutes of people that want to join us, And you know how it is with the delay on the YouTube part.
Yeah.
I don't know if it shows us live yet.
We'll shoot for
Just showed us turn coming on.
We'll shoot for quarter past.
Yeah.
7:06 right now. So.
Yeah. So, any background information on this episode, John?
This is the whole the thing I laugh about the most in this is when Adriana asked Christopher if he did number 2 in his pants.
Yeah.
She's like, "Is that what happens?"
I love when he's got Meadow in the car and he's like, you remember when you was a kid? I'll buy you one of those Happy Meals.
Yep. And it's funny to think too, because
are you?
It's funny to think originally Chris was supposed to die too, and then they really liked Michael Imperioli, so they decided to keep him.
This was supposed to be his last episode, wasn't it?
Yep.
He was only supposed to be in the first 4 episodes, and that was it.
Yeah. And then he went on to be a writer of the show and everything. So,
director of a couple of the better episodes too.
Yep.
No, I mean, and that's saying a lot because all the Soprano episodes are good. So
yeah.
You know that Super Bowl commercial that they did with Meadow and AJ, or Jamie Lynn Sigler and
Robert
Eiler.
Yeah.
Now, did you know that was directed by David Chase, the commercial?
Yep. He directed it, yeah.
So it is, some people are wondering if it's going to lead to more stuff or whatever. Personally, I think it's just a commercial.
Yeah.
And they got those 2 in there with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been cool if Carmela would have been there too. But you know what else though? What restaurant do they meet up at the commercial?
I'm not sure. There is. What is it in the background? There's something in the background too that was like a little Sopranos nod, and even the fact that the car. It's like I love how AJ shows up because he talks about how they can't be reliant.
It's from the episode Whitecaps.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a place there where you may know. Can't remember the name of it right now, but it's a seafood place, and he's like when Tony tells Carmel and Whitecaps. Yeah, we'll stop at whatever. You won't have to cook.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, the last thing that's what I want right now is lobster or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's when she's sick.
But it's that restaurant that he mentions. It's the restaurant.
This is also Meadowlands is also the episode. I think this is the first time we see Melfi naked.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one, right?
We've gone through. Maybe
this is the shower one. This was when Tony's dreaming of her.
Yeah.
And then later on in the series, she has the dream about him when she's riding him.
Right.
But this is the one I think when she's stepping out of the shower.
Right. I know you and I talk about this all the time, and we're never going to convince each other otherwise, whether we want to or not. I say Tony's alive. You say Tony died.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video the other day on the stupidest, in my opinion, fan theory. Was that 2 fan theories actually, and I thought they were both stupid. Okay. One fan theory is that Meadow kills her own father.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That's dumb as shit.
Yep.
The second one was that Paulie kills Tony. And I thought that was equally stupid because, one, it's so not in his character. It's They said that Paulie never wanted to be a boss or anything like that. He really didn't even want to be captain for the most part.
I think Paulie was
Paulie was
aware.
captain, but he didn't want what was it, to be over.
I think Paulie was aware of what was going to happen, but we can talk about that more when we get to it.
I don't think he was at all, at all.
I
He loved Tony
definitely
way
do.
too much.
I definitely do, but like I said, we'll talk about that more later on because that's not going to be for a long time.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
You want to watch some Sopranos with us? We're about to start here in a minute. But I really don't think, I don't think he did it all. It's just totally not in his character at all. He's too self-effacing, and
I don't know.
Like what's his name said. You remember they talked about it in a later episode that he was not married. He's not whatever. All he has is this, and all he has is those guys. Without them, he doesn't even think. Without them, life ain't worth living. Paulie. Yeah. So that's just my opinion on it. There was also another one that I saw that said one of the wives killed him.
Probably Jean's.
James?
Jean's wife?
No, it wasn't Jean's wife. It was like one of the more main character wives.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
I'm trying to think who it was. I know it wasn't Ginny Sack.
Yeah.
Who was it? One of the wives is married to somebody, or her brother or somebody's in another family. I don't remember which one, but one of the wives.
Okay.
And I don't remember which one they said.
Probably Pussy's.
Maybe.
Because Pussy's wife is related to, what's his name? Walden, who kills Phil.
Right. Yes. That's true.
I love the connections in this show too. Like, and even sometimes how they don't even tell you right out, but like if you pay attention to like certain last names and stuff like that, and they make it a point to say typically everybody's connected somehow with last names. Like for example, everybody in real life, everybody with my last name is related to me somewhere down the line. It's just that Italian. I have one of those Italian names where literally every other person with my last name is somehow related to me.
Right.
And I like how they talk about this stuff in Sopranos. And again, there's so many characters that pop up with the same last names, and you can kind of sit there and think, this one's probably related to this one. And they don't come out and say it, but you can just assume because it's just an Italian thing.
I have a feeling that last episode of the show, we're going to have a lot to talk about once it's done.
Hey, Waffles. The whole last season, we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm. But that last episode, I have a feeling we're going to go on for a bit after it's over.
I'm sure.
Waffles, what's going on, man? We're about ready to start. If you want to load up or you want to put it in, Sopranos, Season 1, Episode 4, Meadowlands. We watch it, we discuss it, and we talk about it while watching. So if you want to watch along with us, join in. We're going to start here in about 2 minutes.
Yep. Will you be drinking some wine and snacking on some gabagool while we watch this one?
Actually, I just had a sandwich.
Look at that.
Turkey, though, not gabagool. They have a gabagool sandwich at Subway now?
Yeah, I saw the commercial.
And I went in there, and the lady was telling the guy how to make it, and she's like, that capicola meat. It's like, gabagool. She's like, really? I was like, yeah, it may be spelled with a C, but it's pronounced with G's.
I love hearing people pronounce different things like
well, like I didn't know how to spell it. Remember, I was trying to spell it for something.
Yeah.
And I can remember I didn't know how to spell it, so I said it into my phone, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" It's spelled like that.
At one of my old works, I remember they called down to the kitchen for it was Mardi Gras on the menu, and she asked if they could have another mani chatti, and she said it just like that. And the cook is like, yeah, we'll send him another mini chatti. Yep.
Mani chatti. Yeah. Or manicotti. That's what before I knew. I thought it was manicotti when I saw it on we just read it.
Yeah.
Before. Nosy, eat your manigot.
Fucking nosy. I love that.
Oh.
All right. Well, we're at 7:15. If you wanna.
So where are you at?
I'm right where you are. About 2 seconds in at the HBO logo.
Okay. HBO fuzzy logo. Everybody, 2 seconds. We're at the HBO fuzzy logo. 2 seconds.
Everybody, we'll give another minute to get there, and then.
Yep. Let us know or whatever. Ever had a quadruple keto burger? 3 pounds of beef, 2 pounds of cheese, 4 pounds of bacon. No, I can't say I have. I think that might kill me. I might eat that over the course of a week, but no. 2 pounds of cheese, dude. I want to actually be able to shit for a month.
There's this guy on Survivor this season. He's like 6'4", like close to 300 pounds. He's like this really big, he's a bodybuilder and stuff. And talks about how like his typical breakfast is 18 eggs and 9 pieces of cheese.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can eat an 8-egg omelet if I wanted, or 8 eggs in a sitting.
That's probably that's like my limit, like pushing it. I'll typically eat like half a dozen eggs typically in a sitting.
Mm-hmm.
But fucking 18. I mean, that's just
even when I went to the restaurant the other day, and I had other food with it, so I didn't go that much, but they do this thing called a meat scramble, which is it's scrambled eggs, cheese, green chili, mm-hmm. And meat, whatever kind of meat you want in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told, but it's only 2 eggs. I was like, do me a favor, throw 2 more eggs in there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because I'm an egg eater. I can eat protein all day long, but
yeah, me too.
And eggs, it doesn't really. Yeah, I'm good with that. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Joe, you want to count it down?
All right, we're gonna go on go.
Okay, go on go.
3, 2, 1, go.
1. And yes, we do play through the intro.
Yep.
Because some of us, if we're doing it on whatever or not,
DVDs and stuff, you can't skip it.
DVDs or whatever, you don't want to mess around and try to figure it out. So. Yeah, they were talking about this, the similarities between the commercial that they just did and this,
mm-hmm.
and the differences, like how Meadow uses an Easy Pass.
Yeah.
To show how times have changed other than paying,
Yep.
Some of the places she passes are newer, but then they put, of course, Satriale's in there, mm-hmm. and she doesn't go to the house. Of course, she goes to that restaurant.
Yep. Hey, this is the first John Hurt episode too.
How big of a state is New Jersey, like distance-wise? I mean, because it feels kind of like all these towns are very close by each other. They just go like to the
New Jersey's not big. New Jersey's not a big state.
I know it's not very big at all. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, this is the first John Hurt episode, which is pretty cool.
It's but the area that they live in, that West Caldwell, yep. Newark, all that kind of area, right? And it's all right. It's like right up there next to the river. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So
it's like right up there by fucking, New York City. So Melfi does have a nice set of legs.
I like how he comments on that.
Yeah.
Like later on when she said she's in the car accident, and then she said
the legs.
He goes, her knee.
Say something more.
Dude, I love that how they do the walk bys.
Yeah,
he's not walking. It's like he's on what do they call those little fucking scooter things or whatever?
Yeah,
it's like he's on one of those little things, just like floating by or zooming by real quick. Did you ever find it funny that as the show went on and Tony got heavier, which is, of course is to be expected as you age and plus stress and everything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Anthony got skinnier. Did you ever notice the parallel between that?
Yeah, sure, right?
Mm-hmm. I love how Pussy's smoking in the waiting room. In his dreams, like I'm sorry, but if she turned around and it was my mother in my dream, I would never have another sexual thought about this woman again. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Go back to sleep.
So he's in his Guma's bed and not his own. He's at his girlfriend's house. Oh, my boss told me the other day, I was telling her how Tony is like my hero and I love him. And I think that he's basically a good person. And I think that he tries to do the right thing, most of the time. Mm-hmm. It's just, this is kind of the world he grew up in, the world he lived in, Yeah. Even through Carmela, you grew up in the neighborhood with Dickie Moltisanti and those guys. Why are you surprised there's women on the side? Mm-hmm. Well, that's just the life he lives. That's the world he lives in. It doesn't make him any worse of a person. And the way I look at things, it makes him kind of a crappy husband sometimes. But
the same way I look at it is let's be honest. Any culture uses, and I don't want to say excuse, but uses those reasons. It's everybody's upbringing. People like to say that a lot. Like if you're brought up in a certain situation, then it kind of you kind of need to have some understanding based on how someone grows up. So why isn't he earn the same amount of respect in that? Like
right, but like people there, I've been seeing all these videos about how Tony Soprano is truly evil. Like how I've never thought he was evil. There's nothing in this show that ever makes me think of him as evil. He's loving. He loves his children. He loves his kids. To him, it's a business. It's just a business.
Yep.
The things that he does, it's business, and it's even when he has to take out somebody or like even a close friend, it's because they broke the business.
Like he says,
they betrayed.
He says they're soldiers. They all know what they signed up for.
Exactly. This is what they signed up for. So when I say that, like, I think that he's a good person who tries to do well, and I'll be honest, aside from the cheating on the wife, because I obviously don't do that, and I never will. I try to view the way I do things, honestly, a little bit the way he does. I'm saying that may sound stupid, but even back to a conversation of how we as human beings have a tendency to take these fictional characters into our lives and truly love them, and like put them in our lives like they're part of the family. Mm-hmm. Oof, Adriana's ass is so hot. She was pretty in Sons of Anarchy, but she is hot as fuck in this. Mock's execution.
Did you ask them?
Yep. So she's picking him up at the hospital. She's picking up Christopher. Mm-hmm. And she just asked him if he shit his pants when they took him out to the woods to mock execution him.
And I love in the last episode, you notice when the mock execution happens, the guy goes, ooh, and he like makes like a face like he smells something bad. So It just, it comes full circle. It's like, yep, Chris did shit his pants.
I mean, he's pretty fucking, he was scared, man. He thought he was going to die,
And that's what's funny about it.
I love this part too.
Yeah.
He's all talking to Brendan and thinking, and there's Brendan just with his brains and his. I wonder if they filmed this part like at the same time as the shooting part.
Probably.
You know what I mean? So that way they didn't have to put him back in the bathtub again and redo the makeup again. You know what I mean? All that.
Yeah.
So shot him right through the eye. Oh God, dude! This shows This shows how old we are, or at least how old I am. You're younger than me, but how old I am. We had pagers.
Oh, I had pagers,
where we used to have to call the pagers
Yep.
and leave a mess. But even before the ones where you could leave a message, where it said something, we had the ones where it would leave is the phone number you called from. He's standing by the fucking phone. That kid back there in the red shirt.
Yeah.
You see him back there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's Hernan from later? Or do you think that was when he changed schools and went to a different school? Because he started going to a different school when he became friends with him, remember?
Yeah.
So a 5-minute cool down period. They would have took us to the principal's office, called our parents, then paddled us. Or when I was in high school in Clovis, they actually would bring the cops in and put cuffs on us. It was illegal to fight. In the city limits of Clovis, it's illegal to fight. What are those suits that he wears? It's not a track suit. There's a word for those, like kind of like a golf outfit or something. Like that Dante's always wearing in the early episodes.
That Dante?
Silvio Dante.
Oh, Silvio. Well, because Dante's a character later on, so I was like, Dante's
right. Okay, yeah, that's true. But Silvio Dante, sorry. But that top he was wearing, like that sweater top thing, I'm like, I think it's a golf outfit, is what it is. But he wears those a lot in the early episodes. Now he's worried.
Ooh.
I'd have to plead the fifth. Something else that even though Tony's about 40 when the show starts, maybe a little close, well, about 39, 40. I don't know, 38, somewhere in there. And I started losing my hair a lot sooner. I kind of relate that to Tony too. I started losing my hair and I started getting fatter.
Yeah, he's about 40 at the beginning because he's 47 in the last season for his birthday. And he says to Melfi, we've been doing this for 7 years.
Yeah, I think he's about 40 because
yeah,
he talks about being 40, I think in the first episode, or he's about to turn 40 or he just turned.
He's either 39 or 40 when it starts.
Yeah. And of course, because of the gap, between the time of the pilot and the actual showing of the show.
Over the course of the show, even though it was on for about...
in the course of the show, yes, but he himself was younger.
The show was on for about 10 years, but it's about 7 years of time in the show. Because again, he says to Melfi in that last episode that she's in, said, we've been doing this for 7 years.
Right. Where's the gabagoo? Okay, I used to have that Stuck Mojo poster. And later on, he has a different one I used to have too. And his Marilyn Manson shirt that he's wearing, I used to have that shirt.
Yeah. I like that too. Like I like how when he's younger, he's into this type of music. And then he gets older, he's listening to rap and stuff. And then as he gets older again, he's listening to something completely different. He goes through like these stages. I like that. It's like a typical teenager.
I listened to all kinds when I was growing up. So
I do too, but look at his room. I mean, he's typically into one type of music right now.
Right.
And then later on, he just, I like that.
And then I told you that poster that Meadow has in her room of whatever that boy band was. My little sister had that poster. How many hours did I spend playing catch with you? So we're on episode 4, Sean, Meadowlands. We're about 13 minutes in. At first she's happy about it, like you could see it, and then it's like she knows she's like, oh fuck him, I gotta be mean. Mm. This is one of my favorite conversations between them. I absolutely love this conversation between the mom and Tony or Olivia. When the baby's out the window. He always with the babies out the windows. I love that.
This is when his accent really starts kicking in now, like the Tony Soprano voice.
Right.
Like those first couple episodes, he was still getting used to it, it was that gradual. But now it really sounds like.
Well, the funny thing is, he's from Jersey. I mean,
he had such like a gentle voice in real life, though.
Yeah, but they said that like the people that knew him said like totally different person than Tony. He's like a hippie and everything,
Yep.
She's never seen me. Oh yeah, that's right. You told me, yes. Yeah, he told me that him and his mom have been watching it together.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. I watched it with my mom, years back when she watched it for the first time.
Yeah. As soon as he leaves, she probably grabs the plate. She tells him to leave some cookies out for the lunatics.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as he leaves, she probably grabs that plate and takes him to her room.
I like how he just dumps them out like that.
Yeah. Look at the look on her face when
I love it.
To give her a kiss goodbye. She's like disgusted, like.
There he is.
100% right about her. She's incapable of feeling joy. I love how an old lady just walked behind him and didn't even notice. I like when. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I love when she's on her date and he stops them, and he kicks the shit out of the guy.
Right. So now he's talking to his undercover cop buddy, or guy that works for him. I love later on in the show, or not this, but when he tells him, "Sorry, I don't have time to suck your dick."
Yeah.
Oh. And he tells Tony, "You have this uncanny ability to sum up a man's life in one sentence."
Yeah, he opens the box.
I wouldn't mind seeing some more of Jackie and like flashbacks and stuff, later.
Mm.
I still want to know the full timeline. Is Pussy on the take? Is he on the government yet or not? No.
Like I said, I really don't think he is. I don't think it's until he gets arrested this season.
But they think he is during. So maybe they're just wrong that he wasn't during the Christmas party.
Yeah, I think it's just their paranoia of like thinking, "Oh my god," and it's like a real life thing. It seems like, "Oh my god, how did we not know?"
With that, Jackie was still alive, of course, and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have cancer yet, but it was right. It was right before this. You know what I mean? It was like right before this. So because he got cancer right after that, or right after that.
Break his other neck.
This is something else that I admire. I think the way he handles Junior is just fucking perfect.
I love this right here. And he takes the staple gun.
Oh yeah.
I like how they don't show him take it, but you know where he's going to. They just zoom in on it.
Yeah, his hand kind of moves out of his pocket up. You know,
it's awesome. I wish Mikey lasted longer. I like the interactions. I like his character.
Oh, I always thought he was a sneaky little weasel. I didn't.
He is, but he's fun to watch.
He wasn't it. He was the one that didn't want to die, right? The actor. He didn't want to stop being in the show. He was trying to think of all different ways to extend the Mikey character.
Yeah. Also, Richie Aprile too. He was another one. He didn't want to die.
Really? I didn't know. I didn't hear about Richie.
He cried on his last day. He did not want to leave the show. He wanted to be on that so bad.
Yeah. And that's what the one guy said. It wasn't so much that he would become all big and famous or super rich like the others. It's that he said that he had never worked with a better set of actors in his life.
Yeah.
And he was just enjoying it. I can never say his name correctly. Keanese? Dominic Keanese?
It's actually Kanisi is how it pronounces it.
How is it?
Kanisi is how he pronounces it.
Kanisi? Okay. I can never say it right, but the man is just a great actor and a really good singer. He is such a good singer. Like when Jackie Jr.'s funeral is one of my favorite episodes because of the song he does. You know. We gave a high colonic. Everybody's heard about it now. Everybody knows that he shit his pants. Oh, I was going to ask, what exactly does that mean? Is it heartburn? Is it just trouble? Is it because that's all I just to me because it sounds like heartburn, not just trouble. Like,
yeah, I mean it's the same thing. It's like agita because of heartburn, like stress, heartburn.
Right, because like I've heard other places where somebody will say like, I can't eat that; it gives me agita. You know? Like,
yeah.
So I'm like, that's what I wonder. Like, it's not just like stress or trouble. I think it's like
it's heartburn,
like physical, like pain in your chest kind of deal, kind of like, you know. He tells him to come in heavy or not at all. And look at this big old guy back here.
Mm-hmm.
That is the same guy that borrows money from Vito before Vito dies, isn't it?
It's not.
They look a lot alike.
They do look alike, but it's not him.
Just with like some years in between. I thought maybe this was just him a little younger, you know?
Yeah, nah. And that'd be cool if it was, but
they're both big dudes. They both, you know, but they look alike. Like
they do.
I just thought it was him just a little older, you know, maybe like.
It's funny because a lot of characters like that don't return because they got arrested in real life for stuff. Like a lot of these characters would be in and out of jail.
Right.
What's his name? Not Larry Barisi. The other one. That's why he's like in certain seasons and he's not because he was in and out of jail.
Mm-hmm. The one that I think is funny that's on the government thing. You know, that's working with the government forever is what's his name?
Ray?
Yeah. I mean, even all these, he was just doing it for years, you know. And it was different though. The way he acted, it's almost like he was an employee. Like they told him to, like, you know, put in a request and take stuff out of petty cash to get his shirt or whatever.
I think what it is that it's like what we see with Pussy and stuff too. It's like they get so involved in it that they feel like they are employees. So
well, no, but like he literally told the guy, remember, to put it in.
Yeah, I know, but that's what they do for them. That's what they do for their witnesses.
I don't, but I didn't feel like that same was going on with like with like Pussy.
Oh yeah, I think so. His part's great. Like when he's like, "What?" He says something like, "You got steak at home. Why are you going off a burger?"
So now the undercover cop that works for Tony is pulling over Dr. Melfi. For those of you that aren't watching along with us,
he's on a date with some guy, and
I love his
Marcasian, who's the undercover. Marcasian is the undercover cop, so he's thinking that Melfi and Tony are an item because he doesn't know that Melfi's his therapist. So he thinks Melfi's cheating on Tony right now with this guy. So now he's about to give the guy a beating just because.
I love how he's all like, I could smell the potatoes. Irish cops. That's something else too. You ever notice, like, people talk about, like, in an episode they talk about, you know, the denigration of Italian Americans by basing them as mafia members, right?
Yeah.
Well, what about, like, you know, the Irish stereotypes that they have and things, like I said, you know, as in the Westerns, the Irish were always considered the cattle rustlers. And then also, you know, like in a lot of movies, they were considered the Irish bumbling constable cop, you know, even all the way up into like Batman 66, you know?
Yeah. You fuck you. See, I like that scene because it shows Marcasian, like the guy's a mess, obviously. He's a gambler and stuff. But like how you find out later on, you know, when like his girlfriend mistress tells Tony how he really did like Tony.
I mean, look at that suit. He looks like a mess.
And I like that scene. Like he didn't have to. He just beat that guy up just because. Like.
And there's Tony with all his hamburger meat hanging out of his shirt. That's like my dad right there, man. All his fucking chest hair everywhere. I don't think Tony knows the rules that shrinks have to see shrinks, you know? So he's all surprised when he learns that his shrink is seeing a shrink.
We got on Friday's game. I got 3 pills on Russia. That'll solve all your problems.
And their friends don't hit each other. So where's it getting you?
With the stapler. How you might get to give up that nice suit. Yeah.
Jimmy Altieri's first episode too.
Michael Five, he had a couple. Stubborn enough to go to war.
I wonder if lobsters is on the menu at Bada Bing or if this is a special thing. I can't find my Bada Bing shirt anywhere. I've been wanting to wear it during this. You know, my boss got it for me a year or so ago.
Yeah.
And for my birthday, and I want to wear it. I can't find it. I did show you my book, right?
Yeah.
The Tony Soprano Guide to the Gospel. You know that was actually written by a pastor.
Really?
a pastor that really liked The Sopranos, and everybody told him, "How can you be a pastor and like Sopranos?" And he talks about it. Like there's nothing wrong with liking a show or whatever, but also like he literally does talk about how it relates, to the Bible. It's pretty cool. It's a cool book. And it's physically challenged. That's something else too, is I don't think Tony ever really wanted to be boss. I think Junior kind of backed him into the corner where he knew he had to keep things going, or else they was going to fall apart.
That's kind of what it is. It's like Junior always wanted to be boss. Tony didn't, but he found a loophole with Junior being able to be boss and take all the hits. And Tony still gets
he could be boss, but also he saw what being boss did to Jackie and did to other people. And, I know that in the 90s, a lot of us wore clothes that were too big for us, but I never wore shirts that were like that big, hang. I think they expected him to get his growth spurt before the show started. Make me fatty. Oh, that was a good punch too. It's like solid. The pit tomorrow, 3:00. It's such a kid thing. I love this scene.
Yeah, me too.
Because like this guy sees Tony, and then he's holding an axe.
You know what else I love about this?
Like it's non-threatening as hell. It's just Tony holding an axe scares the shit out of him.
I also love this scene because you see this guy here, okay, and obviously he's Pia Costa's father. Right. And then later on, when AJ's on the football team, they're on the football team together, and Tony's sitting with this guy in the stands, and they're cheering for AJ.
Right.
I love when they do that.
Who is this guy? The actor. Who is that? I recognize him from something.
I'm not sure.
Do you want to go please?
Sure.
Linda.
Huh?
Sure.
That's great. Oh, that's great.
Do you want
I'll see you around.
Just one.
Okay.
I don't think we have that much bread left. Mott's apple juice.
They have Mott's so much in the show.
Huh?
They have Mott's a lot in this show. Me and Aaron always talk about that. He's always drinking Mott's.
Well, you got to be careful with shows about products and stuff that or whatever. So I'm sure they had to
They have a lot here though, because they have the Mott's, they have Snapple, Coca-Cola. They had quite a few products.
McDonald's makes an appearance once.
Yep.
I think it's only once too. They talk about it more. Or they mention McDonald's more than once, but it only makes an appearance once, and that's when Silvio is eating fries.
The fries, yeah. And Chris eats them when he walks out.
Yeah. Actually, I think in the episode when Furio gets back from Italy, I think they drive by a McDonald's too, but I can't remember.
Probably. I like when they drive. I know Feach drives by a Home Depot when he's back in his bus.
Oh yeah. You know what's so funny about that is that was a setup, and people knew that he did it afterwards, right?
Yep.
So that was never considered like snitching. Like that was a boss move setup. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they didn't. They wanted him to go. They was that or kill him, and they got rid of him. So
And that's exactly it. They didn't, Tony didn't feel comfortable killing him, so.
and they knew he would go back to prison and never open his mouth, at least like that.
Yep. He sent
He
the
may
message.
run his mouth. He ran his mouth all the time, but not like.
Mm-hmm. Get your own fucking.
I was just reorganizing my TV show shelf earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
and I had that. I've got that Nurse Jackie at season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched it though. I've been meaning to forever, and I keep not watching it just because I keep forgetting that it's there. But Edie Falco is such a great actress.
Yeah, she is.
I know we can't with James because he's gone, but I would love if after the next movie that they're talking about doing, like we see, I don't know, like Edie maybe getting the de-aging or whatever, coming in and actually playing that Carmela, like when, I don't know, something that like really links the two.
She doesn't look bad now. I mean,
No, she doesn't, but I mean, she's obviously not going to be 18 years old. And,
oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. I thought you meant like
no,
continuation.
I don't know if we have any ham. I know we have turkey. Talking about spanking old people. It is funny that we do kind of revert to childhood when we get so old.
Yep.
Some of us.
The yo-yo.
The male guy walking down the street.
Heard you had a little BM out there. Even this fucking guy heard he shit his pants.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Chris, there's no one I'd rather give my choice to you. Glad that you say that, man.
I don't care if they shove a scud missile up your ass. I love Christopher.
Me too.
Careful, baby.
Yeah, I just now noticed that. I didn't really think that
Be
through.
careful putting really hot stuff on.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think it though.
You shut the fuck up.
You want a nitro bar.
How old do you think Christopher is when he dies?
I noticed, like, especially in the last season, they go more into AJ than Meadow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they talk about Meadow with, Patrick Parisi's kid or whatever. But I think part of that is because they concentrated so much on Meadow earlier in the show, you know. Boom, boom.
I didn't get an overtime for that girl. Nothing.
She's the only one that's in the whole series, I believe.
She's like always in there, yeah.
Yeah, she's throughout the whole thing. Is that one chick in the front there? I love what she says right here.
Yeah.
You can tell she went up to like New York to be an actress or something. She got that southern fucking accent.
Exactly.
I wonder if she's one of the girls that Silvio paid for her boobs. That's why she works. And here comes fucking Christopher with the worst fucking timing ever, as usual.
Yep.
That's not all. I'm going to make a pickup from Yo-Yo Mendez. Says it ain't my corner anymore. They're moving in. I say we go to Downtown Four. What are we, politicians? Is this like the Senate? This is about respect of our faith. Shut the fuck up. It doesn't concern you. Yes, it is. I represent you out there, and I'm tired of putting my tail between my legs.
That's something else too. Christopher was the only one that ever had the balls to say anything to Tony.
Yep.
Like really say anything. And I think part of that was he knew that Tony loved him so much that he didn't think Tony would ever hurt him. You know what I mean?
Like Chris, and then some. I mean, he's not part of them, but Artie too. Artie talks so much shit to him.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason, because he knows him and Tony go back way too far.
There is that one time where Tony's like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" You know, but like, you know, they were just both pissed. But
yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, though, Tony never holds it against them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
he always tries to help Artie no matter what.
Like last time we watched that episode where they had the food fight, you know, Artie throws food right in his fucking face.
And that's like, the thing too. Like, you remember, like we were talking about earlier, what I said about how Tony, I think, tries to do the right thing. You know.
Yeah.
Like David Scatino, you know, he busted out David's business, but when Artie had the problem with the money, remember, he just took it on himself. He's like, no, this is Artie. I'm, you know.
And also with Scatino, he tried warning him. It's not like he took advantage of him right away.
He told him, and he's like, but then he admitted to him. He's like, well, I knew you had this business, Davey. I mean, you know.
That's why he let him eventually do it.
Exactly. But also, too, the big difference is David Scatino was a degenerate fucking gambler. And
exactly.
And Artie was not. Artie just made some stupid decisions.
Yeah, he tried to get in the ground floor in a business, and it didn't work out.
Yeah. And I think it kind of gave Artie kind of a little bit of a thrill to know, you know, maybe that he was. Because remember, at the time, him and Charmaine weren't together, remember? So, which of course is all stuff we'll talk about later.
Do you guys like your food? Sorry.
I love this meeting between him and Tony when they're talking about who should be the successor. I love the way it sounds so formal where he's like, our friend Jackie has died. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just him talking to his uncle. It's two bosses basically meeting. And Mary Liza turned that off. You could tell right there that Junior thought he was going to say, "I'm taking over." You know, you need to step down or get out of my way.
Yeah, he was ready to go to war with them.
He was ready to say something, but and then it dawns on him. His eyes kind of get a little wider, and he's like, "Those are the subtleties that I'm talking about when I talk about good actors." You know.
Yep. It's funny, Junior's ego though. It's like he needs that assurance, and look how his mood changes like instantly. Mm-hmm. And I love how they really focus on that in the movie.
Right.
It's like these little things that get to him, but he just needs that constant assurance.
Well, they talk about it in the show too. Like they talk about, it's a Heshi that tells Tony, or tells somebody the man is driven entirely by his insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's true. I mean, that was always Junior's thing. He always wanted to be bigger than he was. You know, Heshi told him too. He was mad at your dad because his dad got made first. His dad got boss before he ever did. You know, because his dad was boss. He was like the boss of the whole family. That's what I'm trying to. That part I'm still trying to figure out too. How they're gonna marry things up at the movie and all. Because they talk about the old man is in prison, you know, serving the life sentence or whatever of the DeMeo crime family. But he talks about his father being the boss. I don't know if he was just a captain or what.
I think he only made it as far as captain. Because I think he died before DeMeo went away.
And DeMeo is Ray Liotta's character in the movie.
No, DeMeo is David Chase in the movie.
Oh, David Chase's character. Right. Sorry.
Yep.
Because, David Chase.
Liotta is Chris's grandfather.
Uh-huh.
Technically his great uncle.
You know what? I may watch Saints of Newark after this.
I've watched that so many times.
I haven't watched it in a few months. Actually, I don't think I've watched it on Blu-ray since I bought the Blu-ray. But I watched it on streaming a few times
ago by myself, and then like the next day or the day or two after, I watched it again with Erin again.
I like that. She like puts her tits up and you know, she's trying to like. But then when she realizes what's going on, she goes all like doctor mode on him, and she buttons herself up and.
Like this poor bastard,
you know,
this guy's like terrified, and she's like begging for it. Yeah. This poor bastard.
He's a pussy.
Exactly. Like she's like right there in front of him. Like, dude, come on.
That's why he says it's not her. She's not his style. You know, he's a pussy. The cop even said that. You know. She even asked him to prescribe, or he even asked her to prescribe him something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what the fuck, dude? I bet you when she walks out, she never even calls him again.
Got this crazy idea that I'm being followed. This song is running from my head. People are strange. The doors up. Where faces look evil. You're alien. Dead 27.
He specializes in post-traumatic stress disorder.
This is definitely a crucial episode, you know. It's the episode where Junior takes control, but Tony really moves in behind the throne. You know.
The ending of this episode is great.
Do what?
Ending of this episode is great. It's like one of my favorites.
Yeah. Did you like Brendan Filone as a character?
I don't think we really got enough of him. I think I like the dynamic of him and Chris, and then you later see that with with Bevilacqua, and you later see it with Jackie Jr. I like that dynamic. There's always like these two young guys trying to make it. And
Chris definitely does find guys that are dumber than him to hang out with.
Exactly, yeah.
But when Bevilacqua, when Brendan tells Tony in the fucking pilot, you know, everybody knows you run things since
That's in the second episode, yeah.
Since he became a Kemo-Sab, you know.
Yep.
I just forgot his fucking name. I just went out of my fucking brain.
Jackie.
Jackie, thank you. I was about to say Jimmy, not Jimmy. It's Jackie. And he calls him a Kemo-Sab. I was like, man. And fucking Tony puts him through the door. I wish Tony would have just beaten the crap out of him. I just wanted him to beat the holy hell out of him. I think Tony shows a lot of times where he shows restraint. You know?
Like the Boca episode with the soccer coach.
Oh, yeah. And I felt the same. They should have killed that fucker.
But he was waving. Prime rib, hamburger. It was surreal.
This is the first time, but not the last time, that she actually unloads on Tony a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Her issues, her troubles.
Yep.
And it kills me how she turns on him at the end because of all that. Like, Tony is obvious. I think what it is, honestly, is that I think she gets scared of how close she gets to Tony.
I think what it is that they become codependent on each other. And
I think she almost loves him in a way.
In the end, yeah, exactly. She has to walk away before she goes too far down that path.
But she does it so, like, maybe she thought that was the only way he would.
And I think it's the only way that she could. You know what I mean?
I still think it sucks that she succumbed to peer pressure, basically.
Give it another chance. A lot of good ideas here.
I love this.
Tell me why it's a smart move. Between the big will. It's got that. She's a king of kings.
I don't know if you saw the post I put up on the on my thing yesterday on my community page, saying to join us for this episode. You know, for this.
Okay.
The picture that I used is from the Meadowlands episode. It's them standing in the graveyard.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
I did not realize that I used that picture, and it was this episode at the time. And when I put it up, I just put it up because I love that picture.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it being the episode we were going to watch, you know? As long as you're guaranteed to keep the old fucking line. Fuck you, Jimmy.
I'm his favorite nephew.
Girls. Out. Now. Go on, you too, Miranda. Take that blanket with you. Yeah, go put it back in my room. I don't know why it's in here. Miranda, go. You can't talk about Sopranos without cursing. My kids are just sitting here. I'm like, go away.
It's almost over anyway. When he winks at him.
I love that look she gives him. He's finally realizing who his father really is, but he still loves his father and he doesn't care.
Yep.
I think that's a good moment where Tony, that shows the true Tony right there, if you ask me.
Yep.
You know, nodding at AJ and giving that little wink, you know.
Yep.
Such a good song, too.
Hey, Echo. And that's it.
Uh-huh.
Another episode down.
Oh, dude, it sucks. I wish you didn't have to go. Now I want to watch the next one, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I know you got things to do. So, but before you go though, you got a little few minutes, right, to give some thoughts or whatever.
Yeah, I got a couple minutes.
Yeah. So, Echo, welcome, and anybody else in the chat. I'm not sure who's all there. The thing keeps going up and down the little counter, so I don't know who's actually there or not. For those of you that watched along with us, what did you think of the episode? And any favorite parts or anything you wanted to discuss? And Joe, what about you, man? What else?
Like I said earlier, I mean, I think this. I like the Christopher moments in this one, because it's interesting to me that he wasn't supposed to even make it past that mock execution originally. So it's kind of cool that, like, from this early on, at this point, it's like everything else is just bonus Christopher stuff that we would have never seen, and it's crazy to think of how the show would have been different without him.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that and two, also, like, who would take that? I mean, okay, now, I mean, we've had the Sopranos now for years, and like, it's been done for over a decade now. You know what I mean? Like, it's been like completely finished for over a decade. So we're used to having Christopher in there. If they wouldn't have had Christopher, like you said, what would have happened without it? Do you think there would have been somebody else they would have put in to be that younger person in the group? And think of all the storylines we would not have.
I know.
If they would have killed him there.
Like, there are so many just Christopher-centered episodes that'd be crazy to think. Like, it's not like he's some side character that they could have done away with. Like, he's a main character up there with Tony, you know?
Like, the death of... I'm going to forget her name right now. I'm so bad with names. But the death of Tony's mom, not her death in the show, but the death of the actress, changed an entire season.
Exactly.
Season 3 was supposed to be all about them. It was supposed to be them getting farther and farther apart, all this stuff. But she died.
She was supposed to testify against him in court, yeah.
Right. They had to change the entire season. So I mean, I don't know if they write every episode before the season starts, but I know they get like an overarch, like what's going to happen, you know? So, like, if they would have taken Christopher out here, we wouldn't have gotten half of the shit or half the arcs that we get later. Well, and also too, we would have probably lost other characters like Adriano. We probably wouldn't have seen Adriano much anymore.
Also, it's important to keep in mind, originally it was intended to be only 3 seasons. Sounds good, Jason.
All right, Jay, have a good one. Guess he can't say goodbye to me.
No. That's the thing with the show, was that it was only supposed to be the 3 seasons. So, because of Nancy Marchand's death, that's her name, by the way, in real life.
Yes,
it changed. You know, like you said, it changed things. Originally, the whole third and final season was supposed to be her and Tony basically at war in a legal sense. She was going to testify against them with the airplane tickets, and then she died. So then it changed. So then obviously they extended the show into technically 7 seasons, because season 6 has 2 parts. But it's just interesting to think that we would have only gotten 3 seasons, because right now I feel like it's not enough. Like, I want more Sopranos. Like, it's a show for me that should have never ended, and I've seen so many episodes. I've seen all the episodes so many times, and it's just still not enough for me.
You never know, though, too. Even if they would have kept that intact, or maybe even changed actresses or whatever.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, I figured you were, Jay. Just the counter just kept going, like, all the way down to 1 or 2, and then back up to 3 or 4 or 5, and then I wasn't sure who was all there or what was going on, but I figured you were there somewhere. But, like, maybe it would have been Tony in jail like they did with Johnny Sack,
Yeah.
For a while, and then maybe he gets out or whatever, Maybe he beats the case, I mean,
it's just crazy to think, like, think about the episodes that happened, like, after season 3 that we would have never gotten, like Whitecaps, for example. Like, it's just crazy how many good moments we wouldn't have gotten.
Mm-hmm. Such a great episode, that one too. Part of me can't wait to get to it, but also part of me doesn't want to get there that fast.
It's incredible. I love how it's like feature length. I mean, it's like an hour and 15 minutes long.
Yeah. Good night, Sean.
Yeah. All right. So next time,
Yeah, they did that with a lot of the season finales that were a little longer.
we'll. I like how that's the longest episode in the whole show, and I
You
also
were
like.
too acknowledged. I acknowledged you earlier.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe we'll do another episode this month since today's only the 1st of May, and then next time we can do either 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah. Whatever works, brother.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
All right.
Well,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you for joining us again. See ya.